What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Dr. Jaws here, and tonight we are continuing our shark husbandry special. So, sorry I'm running like a little bit late, but it's kind of fun to literally pick up right where we left off last week, where I have not changed anything. I have not pulled up anything new. It's such a huge subject in terms of like how to take care of sharks in public aquariums, what they need from kind of like an enrichment standpoint, habitat, space design standpoint, and it's such an exciting world. Where we learned a lot last week, and I was kind of surprised. We talked about white shark captivity and how what contributed to mostly like overcoming the extreme difficulty of housing captive white sharks, and there's no permanent white shark display just because like that species is really difficult to keep. And the all the sharks that we reviewed last week were released in the wild at some point, so that was pretty interesting to learn. And then where we left off from last week was tiger sharks, where tiger shark husbandry is pretty intricate and a lot more information than we were, you know, that we could cover in a single episode. So very excited to dive in and take a look and see what we can see and continue our journey with tiger sharks. So, um, we were on this article, so I'm going to track the page. So it was page 26. And I'm just going to read the abstract again, just because we did see the first couple bits of this last week. So, but husbandry of the tiger shark Gallardo Cuvier at the Aquario de Veracruz, Mexico. So, tiger sharks, just as a recap, they're a very large shark. They're one of the top predators and one of the largest sharks actually ever. Large species being whale shark, basket shark, white shark, great hammerhead. Tiger shark is definitely up there in the top 10 in terms of size. And it's also difficult to keep in public aquaria because of that size. So, but this abstract for this paper, improved husbandry techniques at the Aquario de Veracruz have led to the successful long-term display of adult tiger sharks, Gallardo Cuvier, a large exhibit volume, rockwork on perimeter walls, a diverse diet, targeted pole feedings, and a hide feeding ration, up to 2% of body mass day or BM per day, are essential for managing the swim behavior and energy requirements of this pelagic species. Following long-term exhibition within an aquarium, successful release of an adult male tiger shark into the Gulf of Mexico was achieved and verified with pop-up satellite archival tags, or PSAT. Data from the PSAT indicated behavior consistent with the healthy wild tiger sharks during a period of 90 days post-release. So last week we talked about kind of the introduction, and we were talking about the personalities of tiger sharks, where they had a chart. They had a chart of how each individual tiger shark behaves. Hold on. I forgot we were talking about whale sharks too last week. All right, almost there. There we go. Okay, so here's how each tiger shark behaved. We had Delta, Viernes, Beto, Tito, Isabel, Benito, Claudia, Diego, and Patty. And we were talking about how a lot of the timid tiger sharks really weren't doing as well in aquarium setting as the extroverted tiger sharks. The extroverted tiger sharks seem to be healthier. Hey Tim, welcome back. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend and are continuing to enjoy the summer. That reminds me, we are entering into Shark Week now, and this is the last week of the Shark Week banner contest. So all the rules are posted online on the Dr. Jaws YouTube channel. So I'm really excited to see everybody's entry. But yeah, hope things are going well, and thank you for joining us again. I haven't done. I did a little bit of snorkeling in New Jersey a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to go back for some diving soon. I was in New York last weekend to visit friends, which was a really fun trip. But I'm excited to get back in the water and head up back that way at some point soon. I think there was some shark news in New Jersey recently. I think they caught. I kind of misread this. I think they caught a porbeagle, or maybe this is a different place. I have to. I'll check on that later. But anyway, but it's been a fun year so far. Fun summer so far, and I'm excited to talk more about shark husbandry tonight. And kind of pick up exactly where we left off last week. So, this is a good area where I think this is where we ended on, which was like all the different tiger shark behaviors, and how like the extroverted tiger sharks adapted a little bit more readily to captivity than the introverted or the timid ones, I should say. So, I think where we left off here was feeding. So here we go. How to take care of tiger sharks. Tiger sharks should be fed on a daily basis with a diverse, high-calorie diet. The food regime should be based on prey items tiger sharks would typically encounter in the wild, while accommodating specific energy demands and feeding preferences of individual specimens. Tiger shark feeding protocols must be flexible and adaptable, otherwise there's an elevated risk of inter- and intraspecific aggression. So interesting. So that means if tiger sharks are not fed, they get hangry, and they will either harm each other or harm their tank mates. And we talked about this last week, but it's fairly common that sharks in an aquarium will actually eat their tank mates just randomly, kind of out of the blue. So I remember an aquarist was telling me that the tiger shark or sand tiger sharks in the Virginia aquarium in Virginia Beach, they would eat some of like the smaller fish in the tank, just kind of randomly. Like everybody will be a little bit too comfortable with each other, and the fish won't suspect that the sand tiger shark would snap them up, and then the next day, an aquarist goes to check on a certain fish and realizes the fish is not there anymore, and it's because the sand tiger shark ate it. So. Where possible, tiger sharks should be fed from dedicated feeding stations to reduce competition for food and to provide behavioral enrichment for the sharks. Tiger sharks at the Aquario de Veracruz were fed via a feeding pole from a different feeding station than other species. Well, that's actually really cool. This is really important because I used to take care of some animals in a small public aquarium. And if you have a set feeding station for everybody, it can get really crowded really quickly. And the aquarium that I worked at was or one of them that I worked at was the Seacoast Science Center in New Hampshire, where there's this big tank with all these like really cool shallow water. We had like lobster, American eel. What else do we have? I think we had some drum in that tank, but the big fish that really jostled for position or jockeyed for position and kind of outcompeted everybody else were the hakes. Like the hakes were really they were like little beagles. Like every time we did feeding at the top of the tank, the hakes would go right to the surface and just open their mouths and just get really excited about all the food, and we have to kind of gently nudge them away to give all the other animals a chance. So it's really cool that in this study that they dedicated a separate feeding station for tiger sharks so that everybody gets fed and everybody has an opportunity to eat at the aquarium. So really interesting. At the Aquario de Veracruz, tiger shark feeding required substantial effort and care, especially when new animals were introduced. On occasion, aquarists had to place food directly into the mouth of the shark via a feeding pole or by hand. Juvenile sharks typically began feeding sooner than subadult or adult sharks. It was critical during the period immediately following the introduction of new specimens to the aquarium to monitor sharks for signs of interest in feeding, that is, rapid swimming across the area where food was offered, and swimming in tight circles near the bottom of the exhibit in search of food items. Several specimens began feeding on the bottom of the exhibit and were encouraged to the surface, where food was more easily delivered using feeding poles. Other tiger sharks searched for food intensively throughout the exhibit, which facilitated an immediate introduction to surface feeding with a pole. Sharks were immediately conditioned to use the dedicated feeding station, which further aided effective food delivery. If a juvenile tiger shark was regularly outcompeted for food, it was removed from the exhibit and held in a separate pool until it was better able to integrate with the larger animal community. So this is actually kind of cool. This is a kind of quarantine, and we used to do that too with aquaria. So the other aquarium I worked at was the Virginia Institute of Marine Science Aquarium, which is it's a very small aquarium on the VIMS campus, and there was a couple animals that we would put into quarantine for a couple different reasons. So the more common one was like health. If we saw that a fish was sick, we would put it in a quarantine tank, which is behind the scenes. There's a couple of tanks in the back of house that are clean and used to monitor a fish and keep it separate from other fishes, and try to monitor its health and help it recover so that we can reintroduce it back into the main tank. Sometimes we'll put fish into quarantine for behavioral reasons. So there's some. I think it was a scup or a sheep's head. I think it was a sheep's head. It was a fish that was kind of a bully and was causing a lot of problems with the other fish. So we put it into timeout and separated it from the other animals to kind of like let it chill out a little bit and give the other animals a break. And then once we kind of felt like it was okay, we reintroduced it. But it's interesting that animals that are maybe not doing as well, like this poor little tiger shark, it's good that quarantine is an option where it helps address their needs, but it also helps address the needs of the tank as a whole. In the event of inappetence, force-feeding tiger sharks is not recommended. However, specimens should not be allowed to reach an advanced state of starvation, evidenced by a sunken ventrum, a loss of dorsal musculature, and the appearance of a disproportionately large head relative to the rest of the body. Let's see. Estimated that a tiger shark should not go more than 25 days without food. This is an interesting point. So while oscillations in feeding rates are normal, it's estimated that a tiger shark should not go more than 25 days without food. So sharks uniquely take a very long time to digest food items, and there's a unique feature that they have called the spiral valve or the scroll valve, which is a part of their digestive tract. And this area has a really high surface area of muscle tissue or organ tissue that maximizes nutrient absorption. So we don't really have something like that. And so, for us, we have to continually feed throughout the day. But sharks, they maximize all the nutrients in the prey items that they ingest, and it takes a very long time for that entire prey item to go through the digestive system. And with that, it's kind of like in a weird way. I always thought of that as one of the many reasons why sharks are so incredible as like predators, where it's not just that they're efficient hunters and great at locating food and like the teeth like dismembering food, but it's also that they maximize the nutrients of the food. So at every level, like the shark is a truly superlative hunter, and nothing goes to waste when it comes to shark predation, which is really cool, and just really fascinating. Let's see. So in terms of like what tiger sharks eat. Oh, thank you, Tim. I just saw your comment. Thanks for teaching us. Hey, of course. Thanks for being here. This is super fun. In terms of what tiger sharks eat, in the wild, tiger sharks have a broad diet and are considered to be generalist features. Unsurprisingly, at the Aquario de Veracruz, display specimens accepted a wide variety of foods. Despite this observation, it's also noted that tiger sharks can tolerate a diet of low diversity as long as it contained a preferred food item of high nutritional value. So it looks like the diet should include a wide range of bony fish, smaller sharks or rays, and other marine organisms. Although tiger sharks eat marine mammals, turtles, and marine birds in the wild, it is considered these organisms may not be appropriate for use in aquaria from an ethical and legal standpoint. So that is actually a really fascinating point. Marine mammals, of course, you could never, ever, you really never could. I know Japan famously hunts whales still, which is really horrible, and hunts dolphins still, really, really horrible. But most of the international community is in agreement that we cannot hunt marine mammals and should. And there's some cultures that do, like Iceland hunts or has like a whale kill for pilot whales. or in North America, the northern part of North America, there's I think tribal rights to hunt whales, but for the most part, most of the international community has created very strong protections for marine mammals, and so I fully agree that that's not an option for feeding tiger sharks. Same with turtles. Sea turtles are such a vulnerable group of animals that, and they're so sweet too. It's just not an option. And then marine birds, I think it depends on the species. Population wise, it's more palatable, but in terms of the public, I'm sure the public would be very emotionally upset about marine birds being fed to tiger sharks. And it's actually kind of fascinating to think about where this raises an interesting point where, our hearts go out to marine mammals, turtles, and marine birds, which are evolutionarily closer to us. They're more familiar to us. But we don't really feel that bad about a fish being offered to a tiger shark or like a crab being offered to a tiger shark. And it's kind of fascinating thinking about that. Because marine mammals, turtles, and marine birds, I mean, you can make the argument that they're more intelligent and they have perhaps more developed feelings than other kinds of animals. But so do octopi. Octopi are very intelligent, and those are invertebrates. So it's kind of interesting to think about, like, where is the line drawn in terms of like what's acceptable and not acceptable, or like what the public is okay with and what is kind of taboo. So ethically, I am in full agreement with marine mammals and turtles being off the menu. I think ethically marine bird, it depends on the species, because some species are very endangered, but some are very common. So depending on the species, I think ethically you could feed a marine bird to a tiger shark, but publicly, I mean, everybody would be horrified if that happened in an aquarium. So, they're making a good choice avoiding that altogether. But it's kind of interesting from a legal standpoint. That is actually kind of a fascinating consideration. So tiger sharks at the Aquario de Veracruz were therefore offered a variety of calorie-dense food items consisting of bony fish like the little tunny or various jacks. Jacks are really cool fish. Both are very high-energy predatory fish. Elasmobranchs, I do think this is really interesting. I'm not sure what they're feeding tiger sharks. On the shark side, if they were feeding, I'd be kind of shocked if they were doing that. But if they were, it'd probably be the sharp-nosed shark. On the ray side, I don't know what you would feed a tiger shark, because most skates are not doing really well. Actually, a lot of rays are not doing really well. Like rays are faring a little bit more poorly than sharks, which is kind of interesting. So, as a whole, so I imagine this would probably be the sharp-nosed shark, if I had to guess, in terms of what elasmobranch is being fed to the tiger shark. Occasionally beef, chicken, or horse as an alternative to marine mammals and marine birds. Interesting. That's actually really fascinating. Beef and chicken, I get. Horse, I'm not sure where they get the horse from. That's, wow. Although, I watched, I don't know if it was this year, I watched that documentary from the 70s, which I do not recommend. It's really a hard watch, but it's Blue Water, White Death, where they were trying to attract white sharks. It's some of the first white shark footage ever filmed, and they actually were using horse legs to attract the white sharks in the water. I'm not sure where those came from, but anyway, yeah. I'm gonna assume it's maybe old horses. I'm not sure. So, a supplemental multivitamin, VitaZoo Shark Ray tablets, Missouri Purina Mills LLC, Nutritional LLC, Richmond, USA, was also given. The reason why I read that out loud is I'm in the Chesapeake Bay region and in Virginia, and Richmond's the capital of Virginia, so that's kind of interesting that tiger shark supplements come from my home state, so fascinating. Tiger shark preferred food items with large amounts of red vascularized muscle or lipids, for example, tuna, shark liver, okay, so it is a shark, beef, and chicken. Food provisioning was dependent on the size and activity levels of individual sharks. Tiger shark is an active species known to undertake long distance migrations. The species therefore requires an elevated feeding ration to maintain healthy body condition. Let's see. The feeding ration recorded for a single tiger shark was high for an ectothermic shark species. Interesting. So that's actually kind of a cool point because a lot of the top predatory sharks are endothermic. Actually, no, I shouldn't say a lot. The white shark is endothermic, and that's part of why it hunts seals is because it needs to maintain that high body temperature. But it's interesting that the tiger shark, which is also an apex predatory shark, has a high feeding ratio for an ectothermic shark. So meaning like tiger sharks don't need to maintain warm blood temperature relative to the surrounding seawater. They can be the same temperature as the surrounding seawater, but it's interesting that it still requires higher calories for this species. Let's see. Observed feeding ration was much higher than in that reported for temperate shark species and some tropical shark species. Let's see. 0.2%. Let's see. Okay, so it's higher. The feeding ration for tiger sharks is higher than the broad-nosed silvergill shark, the sand tiger shark, and the nurse shark, and the bull shark. But it's not as high as the white shark, which is kind of fascinating. Okay, because like tiger sharks have nearly a 1% body mass per day feeding ration, whereas the silvergill shark is 0.2%. So it's actually kind of cool. The tiger shark feeds 10 times more often. No, that's right. Sorry, 5 times more often than the silvergill shark. It feeds 3 times more often, roughly 3 times more often than the sand tiger shark, and then twice as often as a bull shark, which is really interesting, and the sandbar shark. But it's not as high as a white shark, which feeds 1.6% per day. And the shortfin mako, which feeds 4.6% a day. So that's actually really cool. So mako sharks are the most energetically demanding, then white sharks, then tiger sharks, then bull sharks, sandbar sharks, and then sand tigers and nurse sharks. And what's actually really cool is like this relates to their lifestyle too, and it relates to how fast they are. Because like mako sharks are the fastest sharks in the ocean, and they have the highest food ratio. White sharks are, powerful predators that actively hunt seals in cold water and maintain their higher body temperature. Sandbar sharks and tiger sharks are apex predators that are ectothermic. Bull sharks are also apex predators that are ectothermic. Sandbar sharks are mid-scale predators that are ectothermic, but all of those sharks are active swimmers. Sand tigers and nurse sharks are a bit more sluggish, so it makes sense that they have a lower feeding ration requirement, and then silvergill sharks are very slow as well, so it's actually really interesting. Tim, wait, horses? They feed horses? How are birds more taboo than feeding horses? Oh, yes. Yep, no, don't apologize. Sorry, texting coming through. And, I mean, honestly, that's a great question. Because, what my guess is, that is an excellent question, because some people, or many people, are very, like horses are far more formative to human culture, and there's more of a human-horse relationship than a human-bird relationship, typically, as a trend. And it's just like, my guess is these have to be I'm going to guess that these are probably horses that may have been recently expired, recently deceased horses, where they're there, where it's if a horse maybe passes away on a farm, it's there, and whereas it's a potential thing available versus actively going out and trying to hunt a bird down. That's my guess for why the horse might be more preferable than birds, but I really don't know. I mean, because like ethically, I fully agree with you that that's a horse is far more taboo than a bird as far as what's being fed to a tiger shark. And honestly, like I don't even know how that's done in terms of like I'm sure that's probably processed in a much more palatable way than um, like as far as for display purposes. It's just I don't really know. I really don't know how that's done, but that's a good point though. I was not expecting to see horse on the menu for tiger sharks and aquaria. So, um, yeah. Random, like kind of random question, but related to this. I had this conversation with a friend at one point where we were talking about alligators, where in the southern United States, alligators are I don't want to say they're a popular menu item, but they are something that could show up on menus. And some people are very comfortable with that, but I actually feel bad about, like, I like alligators and I don't really want to eat an alligator, but I'm perfectly fine eating a chicken or a cow, which is far nicer and far less, or far closer to me than an alligator. But I don't know, there's just something about eating alligators, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that. So I don't know why that is, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about that. Like, would you eat an alligator, or have you eaten an alligator, or not? I haven't, and I don't think I would, and I don't know what it is. It's I don't know, So, but oh, here's the breakdown of food items. Oh, this is interesting. This is actually really interesting. The breakdown. Whoa, actually, this is a little wild. Wait a minute, what? Breakdown of food items ingested by a single adult tiger shark displayed on the aquarium of Veracruz or the period of year. Oh, okay, this might make sense. Okay. So we've got the little tunny, which is a tuna. This is definitely the normal part of the diet. You have jacks, normal part of the diet. Tilapia, beefsteak, black tip shark. Now, I don't know, some of these items here, I don't know if they may have been ingested accidentally, in the sense that these are tank mates that the shark ate. Black tip shark, Carcharodontis lombatus, that is a fairly common species, and I think they're doing fairly okay, so I'm not sure if it's a tank mate or if that was supplied. Southern stingray, I'm not really sure about that. Atlantic sharpnose shark, this is the one that I mentioned earlier where I'm not surprised that that's on the menu. If there's any elasmobranch on the menu, that one makes the most sense. Tiger shark, so I'm assuming this is a tank mate that the shark ate. King snake eel, tarpon, red snapper, cobia chicken, silky shark. This has to be a tank mate because I cannot imagine anyone justifying going after a silky shark to feed a tiger shark. I don't think that makes a lot of sense because this is a open ocean pelagic species that does not spend time near shore, and I think this aquarium does have silkies in the tank, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but I'm just shocked to see silky shark on this list. And then octopus. I'm a little surprised to see octopus on this list too. So. Behavioral studies of animals in aquaria have largely revolved around marine mammals, with shark behavior in aquaria only focused in more recent years. Oh, interesting. Just saw your comments, Tim. They farm alligators, need the skin for boots. Might as well not let the meat go to waste. By the way, gator does not taste like chicken; it tastes like swamp. That's why Cajun spices have to be so potent. Good to know. Oh my god, it tastes like swamp. Oh my gosh. Yo. I might have told this story before, but to date, the largest, the most intimidating animal I've seen by size. Like I've seen very large animals before. I've seen basking sharks in the wild. I've seen fin whales, pilot whales, humpback whales, minke whales. Like I've seen a lot of large animals in the wild, but the most intimidating large animal I've ever seen was an alligator in Florida that was the size of a car. I was blown away by how large that animal was, and I was quite wary of, because that was in a like it. I had my car parked in that lot that it was kind of wandering around, and it was just, it really put to scale. Like, oh my gosh, this. it was a superlative gator in a pond, where we saw a lot of other gators in that area, and we thought they were pretty big, but this one being the size of a vehicle was just a little unbelievable. Like my brain was like not processing what I was seeing, and you best believe I was very very far away from that. um, that 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 critter. They're really cool animals, but that's probably the most intimidating by size. That's probably the most intimidating animal I've seen. As far as like a large animal, that's probably the most intimidated I've been by a large animal. And then I was talking with a friend about this recently. As far as the most intimidating wildlife encounter, I would say seeing a cottonmouth in Virginia Beach, and knowing that that's a pretty common snake in the southeastern United States. So a lot of people are pretty used to them, but knowing how venomous that is, and kind of like walking on a trail near one, that's probably the most freaked out I've been. Oh, actually, wait, sorry. I am. This is my last tangent. We'll get to shark behavior in a second. On my snorkel trip, so not last weekend, the weekend before last weekend, I went to New Jersey to do a scuba dive, but the dive got canceled due to weather. And when the weather cleared, the window was not right to go deep, so I wasn't able to go scuba diving, but I was able to go snorkeling. And I took a lot of cool photos of a couple different animals, so starfish, sea urchins, and such. And then I found a marine worm that was pretty large that I was kind of surprised to see. And so I took a photo of it, thought it was really cool. I was going through the footage last night, and come to find out, and I've seen this species before, but it took me a while to remember what this is. It was a bloodworm. Now, have you heard of a bloodworm? And let me know in the comments if you have or have not. It is a little bit freaky. And you might have heard of bobbit worms, which are in Australia, which are far worse. But basically, like a worm that bites. Bloodworms are a East Coast. Actually, there's probably bloodworms on every coast, to be honest. But on the East Coast U.S., there's a worm that gets to be about like 6 inches, I want to say, called a like maybe 8. They get to be pretty sizable. I forget what their maximum size is, but there's a worm called a bloodworm, which is very popular as bait, and I think they sell it in a lot of areas. But this is a worm that could be found on coastlines, tide pools, like sandy areas in the mid-Atlantic region, and these guys can exert their proboscis, and at the end of their proboscis are these 4 like hooks, like these teeth, and these worms actually can bite. So I was enjoying my time in the water, and I was like, oh yeah, here's this worm, and then come to find out it's like, oh, it's the one that bites you, which is like really freaky. Like it actually draws blood. Like there's people who've been, and that's why that's part of how it has its name, is bloodworm, is that it's a worm that bites you and can deliver a really nasty bite, and is not pleasant. So but I saw one of those last weekend. So, and like I've seen them before years ago. They're not common, thankfully, because I know people who may enjoy the beach probably would not want to get out of water after knowing that worms are there. But they're very very uncommon to encounter. But yeah, it was a cool creepy little critter that I saw a couple weeks ago. So. And I will say, a lot for the ocean, a lot of like nature specialists focus on these charismatic species like sharks and whales and dolphins and turtles and stuff, but most of the ocean is invertebrates, and worms are a huge part of the ocean. They're just a huge part of the ecosystem, and they are in many places. So, just fun fact. Fun fact. It's a wonderful. Yes. Oh man. Oh hey, Tim. I've used them as bait. Yeah, they bite, especially when putting them on a hook. Leeches are far worse. I've never encountered a leech. I never want to. I don't know if I've shared this on the channel, but I really am not a freshwater guy. I really, really do not want to be in freshwater. I don't like freshwater. I don't hate it, but I really don't want to be in it for a lot of reasons. So leeches are one reason. Hellgrammites, which are these really creepy, awful larval. It's a Dobson fly larvae with these really big pincers that if you step on one, it I've heard of Marines stepping on Hellgrammites and just crying. It's a horrible thing. Um, but like all those things, and then just water is just fresh water. It just has so much bacteria and so much stuff that can get in your system, like brain eating amoebas and stuff. Like I really don't like spending time in fresh water, and like my first couple, actually yeah, my first scuba dives have been in fresh water. But it's just like it's not my favorite, and like leeches are one of the many reasons why I don't want to be in freshwater. And I would rather be in saltwater with the bloodworms and other miraculous animals of the sea than freshwater, personally. So I cannot. Have you encountered a leech? I can't imagine what that's like, and I hope you haven't. But oh yeah, it sounds painful. Um, I'm trying to think of like other critters that because I feel like the East Coast of the U.S. Overall is pretty calm. Uh, like I was telling my wife the other day that I would say from southern New England to northern North Carolina, it's pretty safe wildlife wise. Like, there's a couple of dangerous animals like black widows, or I actually think brown recluses are here too. As a venomous spider, and you have like timber rattlesnakes and copperheads, but proportionally, it's a lot safer, a lot calmer than a lot of other parts of the continent. Because like the further south you go, the further west you get into like venomous snakes and a lot more insects, scorpions, and then the further north you get into some like really like powerful animals like moose are terrifying, or bison, or wolverines. Like it's just yeah, it's just the middle is like a good little safe area for the most part. So, um, yeah, then you should stay away from Houston, Galveston area. Freshwater leeches can get on you from just hanging out on the dock without getting wet. They crawl between the boards. Oh, that's so creepy. Leeches are evil incarnate. Oh man, I love this comment. I'm gonna star that because like yeah. Oh, that sounds horrifying. Water down here is dangerous. Leeches, cottonmouths, alligators, and bull sharks. Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so freaky. And actually, it's kind of cool that latter point, alligators and bull sharks. It's kind of cool seeing that this is a part of the world where a crocodilian and a shark uh, like can encounter each other. There's a couple other areas like that, like and it's such a unique zone because Indonesia has that where saltwater crocodiles and bull sharks will encounter each other and kind of they'll predate each other. Australia has that too, I think. And I think the same species, like saltwater crocodiles and bull sharks, will be in the same area. So it's cool to see alligators and bull sharks occupying the same thing and feeding from the same resources. So interesting and very unique environment. So very cool. Speaking of sharks, I'll get back to behavior. I like side tangents. But I think. In terms of getting back to large predatory sharks, like the bull shark, the tiger shark, I'm curious to see what notes we have on behavior. So we're talking about how most shark behavior is on marine mammals, most behavioral studies are on marine mammals. Sharks became there's more focus on shark behavior recently. Behavioral enrichment for aquarium species is also uncommon, especially for sharks. At the Aquarium de Veracruz, we provide basic behavioral enrichment for the tiger shark as follows. So we have operant conditioning of tiger sharks through the use of visual or acoustic targets at feeding stations, variation in diet, including food items of high or low preference, food items of different size, and the manner of food item presentation, for example, the whole fish, fillet fish, and fish with or without viscera, and allowing food items to fall to the bottom of the exhibit in areas with decorative rockwork, encouraging an alteration to normal swimming behavior, and a stimulation of multiple sensory systems while locating food and interacting with tank mates. The predominant swim behavior of tiger sharks at the Aquario de Veracruz was at the surface along the exhibit perimeter. Management of this behavior in combination with effective food introduction is critical to successful tiger shark care, as largely dependent on the dedicated efforts of the husbandry staff. Let's see. Multiple tiger sharks, including mixed gender and size, may be maintained together in an aquarium and once established will generally coexist without signs of stress. However, if distressed or new to an exhibit, juvenile tiger sharks may be susceptible to attack by larger conspecifics. Interesting. So, it's interesting that other tiger sharks will go after a tiger shark that's kind of freaking out or a new tiger shark. Over a period, that's so interesting to me. Over a period of 15 years, one such event was observed at the Aquario de Veracruz when a 3-meter adult male shark attacked a shark half its size, a juvenile male half its size. It is recommended that juveniles not be introduced into displays with resident subadults or adults. The establishment of a dedicated feeding station for each tiger shark or systematically feeding the dominant shark first before feeding others may be a useful strategy to help reduce aggressive and interspecific interactions. The dominant male described above was also observed biting the upper lobe of the caudal fin of a slightly smaller male, a few days after the latter was introduced in the same exhibit. The resulting laceration healed in 2 months without medical intervention, and the shark swam and fed normally during its recovery. Both sharks were of similar size. It is speculated that this aggressive behavior may have been due to territoriality or some other form of dominance hierarchy. No other aggression was observed between the two sharks. No mating behavior has been observed between tiger sharks at the Aquario de Veracruz. Interesting. I wonder if we can get a view of the tiger shark cam. Because we saw that there was a shark cam. Let's see, Aquario de Veracruz. Tiger shark cam. I thought there was one. Oh, there's not a public live cam for tiger sharks. One of these aquariums has a shark cam. I know the Ocean Voyager one for Georgia Aquarium. Let's see if it might have been Georgia Aquarium tiger shark. Let's see, because I thought... Okay, so tiger sharks are in the Georgia Aquarium. Here we go. Okay, so they do have tiger sharks. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is where I got confused. So I knew last week we pulled up a shark cam, and I love to check it again, because last week we did not see a tiger shark. So I'm kind of curious if we could find one this week. Here we go. So we got a sand tiger shark right here. Very active, very beautiful individual actually. Looking very healthy. Another sand tiger shark at the top. Okay, there we go. So I'm just not going to move this. So we have this really great bait ball here. We have that hammerhead again, that great hammerhead. Last week we were on this camera and we were looking for the tiger shark, but we didn't see him. So I do want to spend like a couple minutes, like maybe 3 to 5 minutes, seeing if we can find the tiger shark in any frame here. Sand tiger shark moving right to the front. There's a great hammerhead behind it. It's really great to see how active they are. They're looking really good. Very healthy individuals. Really large tank too, so this is a wonderful exhibit for these sharks. That bait ball is getting a little tighter, so it's pretty fun to see. And it's cool that on the East Coast, which is this is when This is the same time zone as this Georgia aquarium shark cam. It's 9:45 p.m. So sharks are a little bit more active at night than in daytime. So it's kind of cool to see that proven with the way the sand tiger sharks are swimming, because they're pretty fast. Looks like there's a sandbar shark back there. I see two tiger sharks in the back. Or sorry, sand tiger sharks in the back. There's that great hammerhead again. Really cool. I wonder if there's multiple great hammerheads in this tank. Sand tiger shark just lurking near that bait ball. Sand tiger shark again, right in front of us. Another sand tiger shark, so there's at least 3 individual sand tigers here. I still don't see the tiger yet. It's amazing you can see this live, and I'm actually going to post this in the chat. These aquarium cams by Georgia Aquarium, where you have this one for the shark exhibit, and then they have another one for the whale shark, the ocean blue or ocean deep exhibit. I'll give it a couple more minutes just to see if a tiger shark shows up. Another sand tiger here, another sand tiger near the bait ball. What's really cool is that sand tiger on the bottom is swimming very slowly, and that's kind of like the normal cruising behavior, whereas the other sand tiger shark is a lot more active, kind of near the surface. I saw the silver tip way in the back. Oh, actually, he's in the bottom right corner. I know that's where my face is on the live stream, but hopefully the silver tip can maybe come a little bit closer. Sand tiger again. Oh, here we go. There's somebody. Yeah, there he is. Okay, silver tip swimming right to the camera. Look at that. Very, very pretty shark. Look at that. Alright, well, I don't really see the tiger shark here, so I think we'll probably move on then, because like maybe, I don't know if they moved him, or if he's, maybe he might be in quarantine, like whatever this individual that they have, or maybe he's spending time in a part of the tank that is like not in frame, but this would be kind of cool to check on once in a while. It's such a cool program that Georgia Aquarium has, so... because they do have one. This is a photo of a captive tiger shark that they do have in their aquarium. But yeah, anyway, interspecific compatibility, or sorry, interspecific compatibility. Tiger sharks at the Aquaria de Veracruz were generally compatible with a variety of other Lazarink and Helios species. Tiger sharks are typically timid and would commonly yield to other species of sharks swimming towards them, even when the tiger shark was larger. Now that's fascinating. I mention this anecdote often, but there was a friend who swam with tiger sharks who said that they're kind of like big puppies. Like, they're very dopey. Like, they're kind of just like they're like a big dog that, you know, doesn't know how big it is, and it's kind of cool to see that line up a little bit with this behavior. Tiger shark were frequently inhibited from foraging or outcompeted for food during feeding sessions. Tiger shark would avoid nurse sharks when they came to their feeding station and would not feed until the interloper had left the area. That's fascinating, because nurse sharks are not predatory sharks. I mean, they are, but like, they're not like, they don't go after other sharks the way tiger sharks do. That's really interesting. The nurse shark, and nurse sharks do get pretty large, and nurse sharks do get kind of pushy. Like, they're pretty pushy sharks, where it's like they get really excited about food, and also if you harass nurse sharks, they will bite you. They do have a pushy temperament a little bit, so it's kind of interesting that tiger sharks avoid them. because in the wild, I'm sure a tiger shark would eat a nurse shark, but it's just interesting. To mediate this behavior, aquarists would only feed tiger sharks when nurse sharks were not present and would distract nurse sharks and tiger sharks from the area. In 2004, during a feeding session, a juvenile tiger shark was bitten on the head by a sandbar shark. This incident occurred when the juvenile tiger shark swam away from its feeding station with a piece of fish in its mouth. The tiger shark reacted to the sandbar shark by biting it on the head. Tiger shark sustained a substantial wound during this interaction, but fortunately the gills were not damaged and no significant blood loss was observed. The tiger shark was fed again within, oh, this is great, 2 days of its food, was supplemented with 3 grams of vitamin C to boost its immune system. The head wound healed completely without further complication. Tiger shark typically tolerated the presence of remora on their trunk, unlike sandbar sharks and nurse sharks that exhibited signs of stress when remora were present. However, on one occasion, aquarists observed a juvenile tiger shark attack and eat an alien remora. A tiger shark was also observed biting a large tarpon around the ventrum. Interesting. Tiger shark can be active nocturnal feeders in aquaria. It is recommended to employ a low-intensity night light over an exhibit of tiger sharks, which ameliorates active nocturnal predation. Tiger sharks are not... So this is kind of fascinating that a night light, so some kind of light source, sort of intervenes with the shark's natural instinct to hunt. So if it was like completely dark, the shark would be more active, but if it's somewhat lit, it kind of messes with their instinct, and I don't really like that. It's a little sad, actually. And this is part of what I mean when I say that. I mean, it's great to have a public aquaria display sharks, but sharks are such large animals that are migratory, or a lot of them are migratory, that it is very... They're not... We talked about it last week, but it's just like they're not getting the natural stimulus that they would in the wild. And one of them being deal patterns, where, there's periods of light and periods of darkness that affect how a shark behaves. And that's actually interesting that light is used as, in a weird way, something that kind of helps encourage certain behavior or discourage certain behavior. It's interesting. Tiger sharks were not aggressive towards divers when they were performing routine maintenance or animal husbandry within the exhibit. Nevertheless, this species is potentially dangerous, and appropriate precautions were always taken in the Aquaria de Veracruz. It was speculated that any risk to divers would be increased by the presence of food in the water or when a tiger shark seemed agitated. To mitigate this risk, divers only entered the exhibit after sharks had been fed and were calm. Okay. Interesting. I zoom forward to talk about, or to finish that section on how the tiger sharks get on with other sharks or other tank mates, but I didn't want to skip this ethogram. These is really cool. So we've seen an ethogram before with white sharks, in wild white sharks, and how they interact near dive boats. So this one, an ethogram on tiger sharks in aquaria, is going to be really interesting, where you kind of classify or categorize different behaviors. So I'm excited to kind of learn what these would be. So here we go. So first behavior is slow swimming. Characterized by sharks slowly swimming along the bottom of the exhibit or midway through the water column at a speed of 3 to 4 kilometers an hour. Slow swimming was generally exhibited by a recently introduced tiger shark, and typically ceased days to a few weeks after arrival, at which point the shark would begin surface perimeter swimming. Surface perimeter swimming occurred when a shark swam along the surface of the water in close proximity to the perimeter of the exhibit. So this is behavior I do see kind of often in aquaria. This behavior is frequently displayed by tiger sharks at the Aquaria de Veracruz. It is typical of healthy specimens. During surface perimeter swimming, the head, pectoral fins, and caudal fins may rub along the walls and form contact abrasions. Surface perimeter swimming was occasionally punctuated by brief forays into the middle of the exhibit. Food searching on the surface. When tiger shark detected that food had been added to the exhibit, their slow swimming behavior changed to a more accelerated searching behavior. Sharks swam in large circles and often crossed the center of the exhibit. Upon location of a food item, sharks would frequently orient themselves at a 10 to 90 degree angle with respect to the surface of the water. At times, sharks would spy hop and bite food out of the water. So really cool to see the term spy hopping for sharks. In the wild, white sharks spy hop, and they're the only shark really, or one of the very few sharks known to do that, but it's kind of cool to see that in captivity. Tiger sharks will do that as well. Food searching on the substrate, characterized by a tiger shark swimming in tight circles at the surface before swimming downward in a tight spiral pattern, approaching the substrate and searching for a food item. Wall biting, tiger sharks would occasionally bite randomly in the vicinity of a food item until it has been successfully grasped. This behavior often included making contact with exhibit walls. Pole feeding, while ingested food items presented via feeding pole, sharks would swim at a 1090 degree angle in the horizontal plane with respect to exhibit walls. This one's kind of interesting. Wall riding or jogging behavior. So this is going to be bizarre. It kind of reminds me of Outlast. I have never played that game, but I've seen Let's Plays of it with the wall rider, I think is the creepy thing in the first game. So shout out to Outlast for the creepy thing, wall rider. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's called a wall rider. Anyway, wall riding or jogging was displayed when a shark reached a wall, and instead of changing direction in the horizontal plane, it would orient its ventrum to the vertical surface of the wall. In many cases, the shark's ventrum would touch the wall. This behavior was considered undesirable and is typically observed in tiger sharks that had not adapted well to the aquarium. In some cases, the shark would continue its vertical momentum and bob at the surface. In these cases, ventilation could be compressed and the shark could become fatigued. If not addressed, this behavior may result in a loss of body condition and possibly exhaustive collapse. Interesting. So this is like a warning. This is like a warning sign for aquarists. So wall riding or jogging is displayed when a shark reaches a wall and it would orient its ventrum to the vertical surface of the wall. Okay, so interesting. Okay, so it's like swimming towards a wall. A healthy shark would swim away from the wall, but a unhealthy shark would kind of put its belly to the wall. So that's actually really interesting. Belly mouthing. This behavior was rare and only ever occurred between two tiger sharks that declared over a cruise. During feeding, the dominant tiger shark would swim parallel to the wall under the subordinate shark. The dominant shark would open its mouth and push upwards against the ventrum of the submissive shark. This behavior never resulted in injury, but would cause the subordinate shark to actively avoid the dominant shark. Interesting. So I wonder if belly mouthing is something that happens in the wild. And it could, because, I mean, I know white sharks and tiger sharks are very different kinds of sharks. They're in completely different orders, but white sharks will display territoriality, and some white sharks will go after other ones if they feel like they're experiencing food competition, where essentially a white shark will be like, hey, this is my patch of rock, or these are my seals, and I need you to get out of here, and they will be aggressive to conspecifics. So I'm kind of curious if this belly mouthing behavior also occurs in the wild, if tiger sharks are kind of vying for resources. So food manipulation rotation. When feeding, tiger sharks would typically rotate fish items 180 degrees and ingest them in the opposite direction to that initially caught. This behavior is adopted regardless of whether the food fish was presented head or tail first. Interesting. And then food refusal. Tiger shark would occasionally accept a food item, drop it, and swim away. It's speculated this behavior is due to inappetence or low preference for the food type presented. Interesting. Alright, so interesting ethogram. I think the wall riding behavior and the belly mouthing behavior are the two most interesting. As far as strange indicators, wall riding is an indicator of perhaps an unhealthy shark, and belly mouthing is just interesting to see a one shark exert dominance over another. It's fascinating. Clinical issues. Tiger sharks have been observed to readily heal from superficial wounds without the need for medical treatment. At the Aquarium of Veracruz, we observed that this species to be very robust in comparison with the other commonly retained shark species, or lazarus species. On a rare occasion that tiger sharks showed signs of infection secondary to abrasions or lacerations, enrofloac, sorry, enrofloxacin or enrofloxacin was administered intramuscularly at a dose of 10 milligrams per kilogram body mass. Interesting. Tagging and release. In accordance with the Aquarium of Veracruz Animal Management Plan, a 3-meter tiger shark was outfitted with a pop-up satellite tag and released from the aquarium of the Gulf of Mexico in 2007. The objective of the tagging study was to verify that a tiger shark could successfully be reintroduced into the wild after maintenance in human care for over 5 years. The tag recorded data on light levels, water temperature, and geographic location for a period of 90 days. After nearly a month of remaining in the waters off the state of Veracruz, the shark began northward migration in July. During a 90-day tracking period, the shark traveled over 676 miles. The tiger shark remained at depths of less than 100 meters for 87% of the time, although the shark made several deep dives to a maximum depth of 744 meters. Deep dives are considered to be normal for tiger sharks and may be related to foraging behavior. Satellite tag data were consistent with the behavior of a healthy tiger shark, as hypothesized the shark had been successfully returned to the wild. That is really cool. It's great to see that a captivity wasn't necessarily detrimental to the species' health, and that's actually extremely encouraging for other shark species that are not doing as well as the tiger shark. And tiger sharks are doing okay. I think they're vulnerable last time I checked. Let's verify that right now. I forget. Tiger sharks are either near threatened or vulnerable, so they're not as bad or as poorly off as other kinds of sharks. But Cuvier. So they are nearly threatened. Okay, great. So they're really not as bad as other shark species in terms of their conservation. So nearly threatened tiger shark. So on the spectrum of least concern to critically endangered, this is on the lighter end in terms of conservation needs. So that's great. So when you compare, kind of take that conclusion that tiger sharks reintroduced in the wild are doing well, and compared to like something like a critically endangered shark like a sand tiger shark, that's a little encouraging that maybe aquaria could be a way to help reintroduce species into the wild. So I don't know. Let's see. So conclusions. Efforts to maintain tiger shark in aquaria have been increasingly successful. One specimen was maintained at the Aquarium of Veracruz for over 7 years. This animal, along with other specimens, has provided valuable information about tiger shark in aquaria, including specimen longevity, exhibit design for the species, captive feeding behavior, and growth rates. Once acclimated to an exhibit, behaviors displayed by tiger sharks are highly predictable. With careful observation and knowledge of typical tiger shark behavior, signs of poor adaptation, stress, or illness are easily distinguishable. Exhibit design is crucial, and low-relief rock work around the perimeter is essential. The diet presented to tiger sharks should be broad and based on that of wild conspecifics. A flexible response to individual specimen, food preferences, and feeding animals ad libitum is necessary to meet the high energetic requirements of the species. Maintaining tiger shark aquaria is not without controversy, as the potential to release display animals back into wild after being held in human care. Data from our satellite tag study indicate that it's possible to maintain a tiger shark in an aquarium for an extended period and then successfully release the specimen back into its natural environment, providing evidence that applied husbandry protocols were responsible and effective. It should be noted, however, that the release of tiger sharks into the wild is subject to a number of ethical, legal, and ecological considerations, and should only ever be considered for healthy specimens able to integrate into their natural habitat and within a documented natural range. Wow. So that is a really, really good study on and I'm glad we spent time tonight, going through it in detail, because we started it last week, but that's a really amazing study on how to take care of a tiger shark. So I'm gonna put it the link into the chat. This actually is the entire volume of Shark Husbandry, the newest edition of the Shark Husbandry manual. So for further reading, if anybody wants to read. Tim, regarding release back to nature, I wonder if there was a correlation in not just aggregate number of days in captivity, but also the age of the shark at the time of the capture. I do agree with that. And that is a really good point, where was this shark, upon time of capture, large enough and experienced enough in terms of interacting with its environment that it kind of knew what to do once it was released? That's a good point. It could be that. Or, I mean, it could also be instinct, in the sense that if the species is put back into its natural setting, do other triggers kind of occur where it kind of knows what it wants to do in terms of like hunting or how it moves, like in relation to water temperature or deal patterns. I don't really know, but I think both are kind of interesting to consider, and I think it's a really good point that the age upon or the age at which that shark was captured and the experience that the shark had prior to being in captivity, I may have influenced it. So, what's also interesting to consider is that sharks are born fully formed, and sharks are not taught things. Like, sharks can learn things, but they're not taught things. Like, there's no parental investment into sharks, and so kind of with that in mind. That's actually kind of interesting to compare like a newborn shark with a shark reintroduced into the wild from aquaria, because both are not taught skills for survival in the wild. They just have this instinct to hunt or forage in areas that seem appealing to those sharks for whatever reason. And it's kind of fascinating to contrast that with animals like. I mean, most mammals or birds, where they teach their young how to do things, whereas sharks, there's no parental investment. So it's kind of fascinating to think about it, where maybe that's a factor too in terms of the reintroduction and the reintroduction being successful. So I'm not really sure, but this is interesting to consider. While there is another article here that I did want to check out, I do want to take a science break and kind of take a little bit of a tour, because we didn't do this last week, of different aquariums in North America that have sharks. So I kind of want to see their notes. There probably is not going to be a lot of information, but I do kind of want to see what each aquarium has to offer. And I did a random selection from around North America, just kind of for fun. So we'll start with the Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. So let's see what kind of sharks that they have. I like this title video. This is really fun. What's inside? Oh, actually, I'd love to see the map. I always love aquarium maps. I just think they're really cool. So Ripley's Aquarium of Canada, beautiful map here. We've got a Canadian waters level, Pacific kelp forest, life support systems, Upper Ray Bay. That's pretty fun. Oh, we got Dangerous Lagoon, which appears to have a lot of sharks. Rainbow Reef, Discovery Center, Planet Jellies, Lower Ray Bay, Graffiti Reef. That's a cool exhibit. And the gallery. So this looks like a really fun aquarium. It looks like there's this cool like tubular walkway in the shark tank, so I'm really excited to learn what kind of sharks that they have. I believe one of our viewers, Rora Roy, has worked in an aquarium in Canada, and I can't remember which one. It might have been this one. I can't remember which one he worked at. So Dangerous Lagoon is the one with the sharks, I think. There we go. So it looks like we have tiger sharks here. Or sorry, sand tiger sharks here. Forgive me, sand tiger sharks. Meet the species. Dangerous Lagoon. Great shot of a sand tiger shark. Oh, there we go. We also have this beautiful sea turtle. This one's hard to tell. I think it's a green sea turtle. There's a sand tiger shark. A couple sand tiger sharks in Dangerous Lagoon. So again, this actually arguably is the most popular shark in. So there's a few different species of shark here, but sand tigers are arguably the most popular shark. This one's a sandbar shark. This is a great sandbar shark. All right, let's see. A couple fishes. We got dogfish, ocean sturgeon, porkfish, red grouper, French grunt. So these are all classic Atlantic species. Southern stingray, Goliath grouper. These fish are kind of interesting. They're one of the few bony fish that are legitimately dangerous for humans to be around. Gray angelfish, one of my favorites. Rough-tailed stingray, love tarpons. Tarpons are cool. Bermuda chub, cool looking fish. Green turtle, okay. There we go. Sand tiger shark, sergeant major, and sandbar shark. These guys, I see these guys together in tanks often. Oh, and they have a large tooth sawfish. Very cool. This is a critically endangered ray species. This is a critically endangered ray. So, kind of like the Baltimore aquarium we talked about last week. It's amazing to see this here. So interesting. Sand tiger shark can be found at all levels in the water column where food is plentiful. These sharks may aggregate in groups of 80 or more strong. So that's a little factoid there. And then sandbar sharks. Sandbar sharks are bottom-dwelling, shallow coastal water species, seldom seen on the water surface. Species considered highly migratory, moving into warmer waters during the winter. Yep. Both are sharks that need a lot of conservation attention. So sand tiger shark is critically endangered. Sandbar shark is endangered. It's great to see that they're both in the Ripley Aquarium. I predict that you're going to see these two a lot as we hop from aquarium to aquarium. So we'll move on to the next one, but I'm pretty sure we'll see these two a lot. Oh, and one fun fact, Sergeant Major, this is the fish that bit me when I did the Shark Tank dive years ago in the North Carolina Aquarium. It's this fish. I got bit by this fish. These guys are really, really tough. They're very feisty. So they're small, but they have a lot of attitude. All right, New England Aquarium. So this one's really cool. I've actually been to this one in person before. This is in Boston, and they have a couple of really cool exhibits. I think my favorite are the local. Oh, this is great. Look at them releasing sea turtles. There's a lovely green turtle there. My favorite are the. Oh, they're releasing a shark. Look at that. There's a right whale. That one's a right whale, I think. My favorite is the New England exhibit, where they have a lot of cool, beautiful right whale shots. A lot of cool Acadian wildlife, like really true cold water animals. Cute picture of a fat little harbor seal. It's a fun seal species on our coast. Alright. Let's take a look at the the animals that they have. So let's do. I don't know if they have a map. So we'll just do Science of Sharks. Let's see what they have. Wow, so they have an interactive shark display, including this is a model of a tiger shark, just giving you the scale of how large these sharks get. Animals in exhibit, you have the epaulet shark. Another very popular aquarium species. This guy is from the Indo-Pacific. This one looks in great condition. A beautiful photograph of a really, really healthy looking epaulet shark. These sharks are famous for walking on the seafloor. Using their little fins, they'll actually rotate them in such a way where they can crawl. And they actually can crawl from tide pool to tide pool, so they can actually kind of climb out of the water from one tide pool to another. So it's a very cool shark species. And there's a baby epaulet shark here, so really adorable, very different looking color pattern than the adult. Beautiful. Nice little forward-facing shot. Or headshot of the epaulet shark here. Very pretty eyes, really cool vertical slits. Another great view. These are great photographs of this species. So I love how like elongate these sharks are. They almost look like these really cool like tropical snakes. They're cousins of nurse sharks. They're much thinner and much smaller, but they actually are in the same order, Electrolobiforms. And by that definition, they're also cousins of whale sharks too. So very cool. Let's see, there's any other? I'm sure there's other sharks in the Virginia Aquarium, or sorry, the New England Aquarium. Let's see, epaulette shark, rock harbor penguin, animals. Oh, interesting. Okay, so animals in our care. That's the main shark that they highlight on, but it looks like they have a shark study program. Despite their popularity, sharks are a group of fishes that we know remarkably little about. New England Aquarium researchers study sharks, skates, and rays, known as the lazarbanks, to provide scientific data that could be used to improve conservation efforts. We study everything from basic life history and behavior to broad-scale movements and habitat use. So they do tagging studies, public engagement. They study sand tiger sharks in Boston Harbor. Effects of sharks caught and released in fishing gear. So this is a thresher shark, it looks like. Another view of the epaulette shark here. And then the gorgeous little scalloped hammerhead here. Look at that. Beautiful juvenile scalloped hammerhead. A great shot of it too. So this is a rare species to see in New England, but they can occur this far north. But and then this looks like a skate of some kind. Not sure what kind of skate this is. Another little epaulette shark, baby epaulette shark. May have been newly hatched. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Okay, so that's the New England Aquarium. We'll move on and see what else we could see. The New York Aquarium. Oh wow, okay, so I like this intro video. Got a harbor seal again. One thing I'm really fascinated by is like, we're probably going to see this a core assemblage of the same shark species, but I'm curious if certain aquariums have unique species. Like I'm curious if certain aquariums, like the Georgia Aquarium, they have like a one-of-a-kind shark that others don't have. So this one looks really beautiful. We'll take a look at the animals. New and notable, we have the African penguin chick, southern sea otters, very cute. Zebra shark. This one has a unique color pattern. So zebra shark Captain Spaulding is a leucistic zebra shark, which means he has reduced pigmentation. Interesting. Other ones, we have African penguin, harbor seal, California sea lion, a flamboyant cuttlefish. Look at that. Gorgeous animal. Okay. A lot of classics like the Countess Ray green moray eel. Here we go, sand tiger shark. Classic species found in most aquariums. Ocean Wonders Sharks exhibit. Oh, this is cool. So I see there's that unique zebra shark. We've got a black tip reef shark, very beautiful Indo-Pacific species. We have a nurse shark and a sand tiger shark. Nurse shark looks a little rough. I think that nurse shark might have some spinal issues actually. Sandbar shark, that one's looking really great. Nurse shark's on the seabed. Sandbar shark swimming towards the camera. Woebegone, that's a bit unique. So, and a carpet shark. So a couple of really interesting animals here. A horn shark, look at that. So that is also, I think you see them more often in West Coast aquariums than you do East Coast aquariums. So that's a really fun surprise. Another sand tiger shark. Very cool. All right. And then this actually has a shark cam, so we won't watch it right now, but I'm going to put this in the chat for future reference. Okay. Great photos. Actually, I really like the New York Aquarium's website. This is a really, really cool way that they did this. Oh, and there you go. In the exhibit, you have the sand tiger shark, sandbar shark, nurse shark, zebra shark, blacktip reef, Kaunas ray, and loggerhead sea turtle. Really cool, like shark hallway. Oh, they have an exhibit called the Canyon's Edge. So the East Coast of the United States has all these really cool underwater canyons. Virginia Aquarium is a very similar kind of exhibit, actually, highlighting Norfolk Canyon. This is great. I really love the New York Aquarium website. This is very cool. National Aquarium, we took a look at this last week, but kind of want to give it another try. This is the aquarium in Baltimore. Sometimes, and I think I make this mistake too, I sometimes call it the Baltimore Aquarium. Definitely the most famous aquarium near where we live. Let's see what animals we have. We'll do sharks and rays. So Australian whipray is pretty unique, but similar to New York Aquarium, we've got the blacktip reef shark, the horn shark, the nurse shark, the sawfish, which we talked about a lot last week, the sand tiger shark, the sandbar shark, the tasseled woebegone, it's a little bit unique, the white-blotched river stingray. This is cool. This is a freshwater ray, and a zebra shark. We'll give a little shout out to this ray. So there's a group of rays that are strictly freshwater, and this is one of them, which has a really beautiful pattern. The white-blotched river stingray has a distinctive pattern of white dots in a black background, helping it blend into its riverbed habitat. Its large pup litter size also makes the species unique. The average white-blotched river stingray litter consists of 7 to 8 pups, so only 12 pups have been born in a single litter. Other stingray species birth an average of only 4 pups per litter. So it's great to know that... Yeah, there we go. Note from the caretaker, white-blotched river stingrays learn fast. The aquarium's rays are trained to report to either a target or station where they swim out to this designated area and eat food directly from a keeper's hand. This training allows us to closely monitor how much each ray is eating and make sure they take their multivitamin. Oh, that's really cool. These rays live in Brazil. So the freshwater stingray is native to the Xingu River basin in Brazil, a tributary of the Amazon River. It's also been documented in the Kurua and Iruri rivers. It appears to dwell most commonly in rocky river bottoms where it finds the most food. So, really cool elasmobranch species, and really cool that's in the Baltimore Aquarium. Or I guess I should say National Aquarium. I'm gonna move through the rest pretty quickly because I just want to make sure I cover all of them. We got the South Carolina Aquarium of a cute little river otter. This is a species that I saw in New Jersey, actually, which is kind of fun. I've never seen a river otter in the wild, so... Ooh, this aquarium has a tank called Jurassic Seas. What is this about? Explore Jurassic Seas and learn about the marine giants of the late Cretaceous period. Encounter stunning fossils, life-size skeletal replicas, and interactive displays as you step into the past, uncovering the stories of long-vanished beneath the waves. And they have a cool dinosaur show, so that's pretty fun. Alright, very cool. This turtle, I believe this one is called Archeon, or Archelon. I can't remember what the name is, but it's a giant ancient turtle. So very cool that they have this at the aquarium. Shark Week, of course, is at this aquarium too. So we've got a beautiful nurse shark here, very, very fat. I don't really see any other notes regarding sharks. Explore animals. Let's see. Sand tiger shark. Yeah. I mean, it's so unsurprising. This every species is probably every aquarium. And no wonder they're easy to take care of comparatively. But they look so impressive, and yet they're also harmless. Just like with the fearsome teeth, but especially for eating fish. We got the Atlantic stingrays. When you see this species, this one's actually pretty common in estuaries on the east coast of the U.S. Barracuda, a really strange looking black sea bass here with this weird hump. This is a beautiful fish in the wild, but canebrake rattlesnake, interesting. Copperhead. Oh, here's a shark that I can't click on it, but this guy, we didn't see this before. This is a chain cat shark. So it's called a dogfish, but that's not correct. This is a kind of cat shark that lives in deep water areas on the east coast of the U.S. And this is also a fairly popular species that's pretty easy to keep in captivity. But first time we see it highlighted in the aquariums here, so interesting. Horseshoe crab, kind of going through these rather quickly. Golden tail moray, green sea turtle. Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, that's a little uncommon to see. We got the nurse shark here. This one, again, very fat. It's actually a really good assemblage of critters here. Queen angelfish. Sheep's head here. This is the fish that I mentioned earlier that we kept in quarantine in the Virginia Virginia Marine Science Center aquarium. Okay. Ibises. Ibises are really cool birds that are really restricted to southern parts of the U.S. So, okay, really cool assemblage there in South Carolina Aquarium. Moat Marine Lab. Check out Moody Gardens Aquarium. Yes, definitely want to. Let's do that right now. Moody Gardens Aquarium. And we'll get to Moat in a second because Moat is so famous. Okay, so this is in Galveston. Moody Gardens, Galveston Island. So the aquarium pyramid. This is cool. I see that we have a great looking tiger shark in the back, or sand tiger shark in the back, actually. Explore the ocean's depths in the Gulf of Mexico, South Atlantic, North Pacific, South Pacific, and Caribbean. This is cool. Let's see. Aquarium. Oh, so it's like different pyramids. Wait a minute, this is really cool. Maps and directions. Property map. I've never heard of this. This is actually really, really cool. So it seems like each pyramid is a theme. Look at this. Okay, so Moody Gardens map. We've got the Discovery Museum exhibit, the Rainforest Pyramid, the Aquarium Pyramid, Amazon River Otter exhibit. We've got this Colonial paddle wheel boat, sorry. Marina, Palm Beach, wave pool, lazy river, a hotel, convention center. This is cool. Learning place. This is a really cool spot. Look at this. All right, definitely want to see the aquarium side. So aquarium pyramid. Inside the aquarium. Here we go. Oop. We got what looks like an emperor penguin here. A coral reef lab. And then photo gallery. Here we go. I'm very curious to see what this is like. So we got some porkfish. pretty large tank for scuba diving. Some looks like African penguins. A rockhopper penguin, pretty fun species. With the hairdo is very distinctive. Sand tiger shark, look at that. So sand tiger shark around this really cool looking shipwreck. A different kind of shark up here. Oh, that's a sandbar shark. Sandbar shark up here. Really cool. Really great shot. So you could tell it's a sandbar shark just with a really high first dorsal fin. And also just the range being in the southeast. African penguins going for a walk. And I think that's it. As far as yeah, I think that's it as far as photos go. Oh, yeah, one more with the African penguins. This is super cool. I'm going to click on and learn more for any kind of animal encounters. So we got the river otter here. I love these like rock hopper penguins. These are super fun. Cute little guys. Oh, this is interesting. So this is a different kind of river otter. These are giant river otters. So I think these are from the Amazon. I can't remember. It's either Amazon or Southeast Asia, but very different from the North American species. We got cow-nosed rays in this tank here. Different kind of sharks here. These also look like sandbar sharks. Yes, these are sandbar sharks, but very cool to see. Ooh, great suggestion. It's not the best, but it's really good programs at the local schools. They start out with elementary school field trips and a surprising amount of high school proms. Builds a lifelong love. Oh, this is so cool. Moody Gardens, thank you for sharing. I've never heard of this, but like this is actually, I mean, the complex is so cool. I love like areas like this that, it's a bunch of things at once. Because there's a couple places like that in Virginia, but they're not as like massive as this. Because we have, what do we have? In Richmond, there is, what is that called? Maymont, which has like a very small freshwater aquarium, some really beautiful gardens and a mansion. But it's not as like comprehensive as this. We also have the Virginia Living Museum, which integrates kind of like a zoo with an aquarium, but it's not quite like this. This looks like an amazing park, so this is so cool. Thank you for sharing. No aquarium conversation would be complete without Moat Marine Lab. So this is probably for like I mean, there's a couple like the most famous aquariums in the U.S. are probably the Georgia Aquarium, the National Aquarium in Baltimore, and I want to say like the Aquarium of the Pacific, maybe. But for sharks, this is probably like this is one of the most important. Moat is definitely one of the most, and actually I'm wearing a Moat shirt right now, so Moat is definitely one of the most important aquariums. Founded by Eugenie Clark, the late Dr. Clark, who dedicated her life to sharks. This was an aquarium that was established in Florida and actually recently moved into a new facility. And some of the shark research that they do, it's really incredible. This is one of the top research institutes for sharks in the United States. So very excited to dive into the aquarium side of it. So let's take a look. So aquarium. So we'll take a look at Moat C, which is the new aquarium. There's a nice little black tip reef shark here. And I think I saw at one point... I thought I saw at one point like a map or a virtual tour of the new place. So, visitor information, I guess I should click on. Directions and maps. Okay, so multiple floors. Actually, man, there's a lot of exhibits here. This is a lot bigger than what I remember because I did go to the old one. But we've got Exploration Hall, Florida's Gulf Coast, which has a mix of like octopuses, jellyfish, stingrays, sharks and rays, lionfish, coastal fishes. You've got some classrooms here on the first floor, some guest experiences. So it looks like you have the Gulf Coast Aquarium here on the first floor, and then a couple of more public-facing areas uh, elsewhere. You have additional exhibits on the second floor, which is the Florida Gulf Coast Observation Deck, the Indo-Pacific Reef, which includes giant Pacific octopus, kelp forest, penguins, corals, shark encounter. Oh, this is so cool. Pacific invertebrate encounter. And one thing I love about Moat is it's pretty comprehensive in terms of it looks at a lot of different levels where it's not just like big flashy species. It actually does devote a couple of exhibits to smaller animals that are often overlooked. You have on the third floor alligator snapping turtle, which is so cool. Manatees, coastal fishes again. This is I like this layout. Um, let's see. Oh, nice little sea nettle from the Indo-Pacific. All right, let's see. We got Florida's Gulf Coast Gallery. Amazing looking sharks here. So beautiful space with this gorgeous looking sandbar shark and a nice little, beautiful nurse shark here. Both look to be in great condition. Wow, they actually look at that sandbar shark. I gotta click on this photo. Sorry, look at. I mean, here we go. That is a really good color on this individual. Like it's look how bronzy it is. It's very shimmery. It's very shiny. Like their sandbar sharks are in good condition, and there's a great shot of its eye right here. There we go. That is a healthy looking shark. Look at that. The eye is bright. The skin is very bright and shimmery. I don't see any abrasions on the snout, and that's something that you do see in a lot of captive sharks. Unfortunately, I think there was a couple of photos in one of the aquariums we were looking at back here, or a couple websites prior, where the shark did have a little bit of fin abrasion, but this sandbar shark, he's looking great. So very very healthy looking individual. San Diego shark looks really good too. Very bronzy coloration. Also bright eyes. The size is great too. So yeah, Moat does a good job taking care of its animals. I've seen the sandbar sharks before, and they're the largest I've ever seen in captivity. So yeah, very cool. Wonder if they have any other. I know they have a lot of different kinds of sharks. So we got Animal Encyclopedia. Species type. We'll do fishes. $256 fish. So we'll do. We'll just do sharks. Alright, 20 sharks. Here we go. There are 20 results. We got blacktip reef shark. We have the bonnethead sharks. This is the first time we've seen bonnethead sharks in aquaria. So Moat famously has bonnethead sharks. So really fun to see these guys here. Really cute little individuals. It's the smallest type of hammerhead in the world, and they actually have also the smallest head proportionally. Very smooth shovel-shaped head. What else do they have? We got a wedgefish, which is a kind of ray. A brown-banded bamboo shark, so a very colorful looking species here. Count rays, which is a classic. Sand tiger shark, sandbar shark. There's no way they have a silky shark. Wait a minute. It's interesting that they make a note on the silky shark because I don't think you can have that in captivity. Interesting. White tip reef shark, swell shark, zebra shark. Maybe they do have a silky. Wow. Swell shark is new. White tip reef shark is new. So really cool to see. Hey, Mondry Mondo. Good to see you again. Thank you so much. It's good to have you back. I love your new icon, by the way. It's really cool. I love sandbar sharks in the huge dorsal fin. Yes, it's such an iconic look for that species, and very easily identifiable. It helps. There's not a lot of sharks that have a comparably large fin. So, but good to have you back. Glad you could join us for our aquarium stream. So we're kind of going through Moat right now, which is in Florida, and I think. Since we have 20-ish minutes yet left, I want to go through the rest of the aquaria before we hop on over. And as a reminder, we have our Shark Week contest wrapping up this weekend. So all the details are on the community page. So let us know if you have any questions, and good luck on submissions. So I'm really excited to see if people can guess the mystery shark that we have, and then see what the artwork is too. So we have the Audubon Aquarium, which I believe is in Louisiana. I'm kind of curious what kind of critters that this has. We got some alligators, so iconic, including an albino alligator, very cool. Got Kauno's rays. We have Peppa Pig, very dangerous. What else do we have? Shark Discovery. I can't click on that, unfortunately, but a 13,000 gallon touch pool. Let's see, aquarium map. Long County Animals of Audubon. That's what I want to see. Wow, this is a lot of different critters, both terrestrial and aquatic. So we actually have a coral cat shark. This is unique. I haven't really seen this in. Oh, and it kind of clicked away, but coral cat shark is something I haven't really seen in. I guess it doesn't take me to a link, but I've not seen this in other aquaria. So that's actually a unique species. So go Audubon Aquarium for having one. So coral cat shark. We have the epaulette shark again. Leopoldi stingray, so it looks like it's another freshwater stingray. An Inca tern, it's really cool. A very inaccurately labeled. This is a sandbar shark, so that's a mistake on the aquarium website. Sand tiger shark, this is correct. A sloth. A white spotted bamboo shark, so this is a little different too. So very cool. It's kind of cool to see that different aquariums around the country do have different species. So this one I'm really excited about. This is the Aquarium of the Pacific. And this one actually has a really great social media engagement campaign where they have these like cute little puppet videos, kind of like the Muppets, and I think they're becoming increasingly popular. And obviously, I mean, this is such an amazing front page. I'm gonna put this in the chat too because this is like a really, really amazing. I forget what you call it, but like splash page for the aquarium website. So, love to see which sharks can be found in the Aquarium of the Pacific. I guess we'll do exhibits. Oh, okay, so we got a zebra shark right here sitting next to a turtle, which looks like a loggerhead. It's hard to tell from this angle, kind of. I think that's a loggerhead. Southern California Gallery, Shark Lagoon. Love to see what's in the Shark Lagoon. So we got this beautiful, this is actually a really nice looking nurse shark. Very old, very large. I'm sorry, not nurse shark, zebra shark. My apologies, zebra shark. Zebra shark and nurse shark are cousins, but this is a really good looking zebra shark. Black tip reef shark is here. Got a couple really great looking rays. Epaulet shark again. Oh, and you can actually see, apparently, a webcam. Which may not be loading, so I think we'll kind of skip over to the shark ray touch pool because I'm curious like what kind of sharks you are allowed to touch here. We got cownose rays, bullnose rays, and apparently in terms of sharks that you can touch here, you have epaulet sharks and bamboo sharks. Okay, very cool. 15 minutes, so I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. We got the Birch Aquarium in San Diego. And actually, this is associated with Scripps Institute of Oceanography, so this is also really iconic. It's one of the most famous ocean research institutes in the world. Got little blue penguins. Giant Pacific octopus. These guys are huge and really, really cool. It's amazing to think about like a intelligent octopus, but attaining the size of like a small human. It's just kind of really interesting, especially when you think about diving with them. Here's a new species we haven't seen, the leopard shark. So this is a gorgeous kind of smoothhound. It's fun to see them. I think they're kind of populous in West Coast aquariums, so it's really cool to see a West Coast species. Very cool. One of those common sharks along the coast of California, especially here in San Diego. Very cool. Let's see what else we have. Mangrove seahorses, sea dragons. These are actually, I am going to click on this. Sea dragons are a really cool critter. These are cousins. These are a kind of seahorse, essentially. But sea dragons are a very rare group of animals that there's a couple different kinds of sea dragons. This is the weedy sea dragon. I remember the National Aquarium in Baltimore had leafy sea dragons at one point, which is a huge deal. And they're just so beautiful, like majestic, shallow water cousins of seahorses and pipefish that hard to find and I think kind of difficult to keep too. So masters of camouflage in that they can hide into kelp or seaweed very well. I'm going to move on to the next one, the Oregon Coast Aquarium. So it's kind of cool as we do our tour of North American aquariums. There's a couple like core species that we see often, like the epaulet shark, the nurse shark, sand tiger shark, and sandbar shark. But then there's these kind of like interesting satellite species that are not as common. So take a look at all fish. A bat ray, it's fun to see. A big skate. It's actually a pretty unique assemblage here. This is really good. So it's cool to see that no two aquarium is quite 100% alike. A broad-nosed seven-gill shark. So this is a species we have not seen before. So this is great that this aquarium has seven-gill sharks. These are shallow water sharks that actually are a little dangerous. People underestimate these sharks, but they get to be a pretty large size, and they're very inquisitive with divers. So a little bit of a slightly dangerous shark to be around. Let's see what else we have. A lot of these are Pacific staples, like the buffalo sculpin. Rockfish. Ooh, coral beauty, really pretty fish. Just kind of zooming ahead to see what sharks we might see. Oh, Garibaldi, really gorgeous kind of fish on the Pacific coast. Wow, sturgeon. It's fun to see sturgeon in an aquaria. There we go. Leopard shark. So they have leopard sharks in this aquarium. So again, West Coast staple. A monkey-faced prickleback. Look at that. Very unique looking animal. A mandarin goby. These are gorgeous. So cool to see this species in an aquarium. This is a great aquarium, actually. I'm gonna post this one in the chat too. This one is a really great assemblage here. A shark turtle photo looked artificial, like parents making siblings sit for family photos. I just saw that comment. That's so funny. Mondo, people start calling them Indo-Pacific leopard shark to avoid confusion and suit their leopard pattern. Yes, that's a really good point. So I think you're referring to the zebra shark, which is called leopard shark in different parts of the world. So you're absolutely right. And the reason why it's called a zebra shark is that when they're young, they're black and white. But when they get older, they transition to that spotted pattern like a leopard. So it does get kind of confusing. Wow, this is actually a really... I'm going to move on to... Because I know I have a few more aquariums to go through, but this is actually a really, really great assemblage of critters. This is huge. Oh, a spiny dogfish. Look at that. I never knew you can keep spiny dogfish in aquaria, actually. Look at that. That's fantastic. All right. So I didn't know that they were here. So, what a great aquarium. So spiny dogfish are a highly migratory species. This might be the Pacific spiny dogfish, Squalus sucklei. Very cool. All right, well, go Oregon Aquarium. This is really fantastic. Oregon Coast Aquarium. It's a really, really great collection. All right, moving on to the Seattle Aquarium. Exciting exhibit. I really like that kind of round window design. Great tank with a lot of structure. Little harpy seal poking his head up. Moray eels. I like this humphead wrasse in the bottom corner. This is a really cool exhibit right here. Let's see the animals of the Seattle Aquarium. We'll take a look at fish. We've got a black tip reef shark. Oh, and this is exactly what you were talking about, Mondo. I want to click on this. The Indo-Pacific leopard shark. This is exactly what you were talking about. So they indicated that this is the Indo-Pacific as opposed to just the leopard shark. So it's so cool. Great side view here of this looks like a wild individual in this photo. And this is what I mean when they're younger. They have these stripes. This is where they get that common name zebra shark from when they're juveniles. So this is I'm glad they have a juvenile photo here. Because when they get to be adults, they turn into this beautiful creamy beige color with the spots. So cool. But yeah, this aquarium has dogfish as well, so it's great to see. This looks like Squalus sucklei. I think this is the Pacific spiny dogfish. And I just think it's so cool. I like this note on the venom. So dogfish actually have venomous spines on their backs. Like all sharks, dogfish have skin that's covered in tooth-like scales called denticles, but unlike most sharks, dogfish are also venomous. They have two spines, one in front of each dorsal fin, that secrete a mild venom. These sharp spines serve as a defense mechanism against the dogfish predators such as six-gill sharks and seals. Very cool. I'm going to touch base on the black tip reef shark. Let's see what else we have. Sturgeon, eagle rays, salmon, seahorses. All right, so pretty good collection here. I love this photo of this sea otter right here too. Vancouver Aquarium. Love this, by the way. Tim, have you ever seen this? This is since you live in Texas. Mondo, yes. It's hard for me to call them zebra shark when they're spotty. Yep. No, totally understand that. Totally understand that. Let me go back to this animal. I forget if this lives in Texas or if it's restricted to Arizona, but this is a Gila monster. And this is one of the very few venomous lizards in the world. So it's kind of cool to see that they're highlighted in this aquarium. So I was just curious if I forget what their range is. I know they're in the southeastern United States, but I forget exactly where they are. So, but just wanted to kind of check because I didn't expect to see one right here. So it's so cool. See more sharks. Jawsome critters in the tropics. We got some gorgeous black-tip reef sharks here. A great video of black-tip reef sharks. Actually, this is fantastic. I love like just how deeply blotched the fins are, like the dorsal fin and the lower caudal fin. Like it's almost like you dip those fins into black paint. They're so strong in their coloration. So black-tip reef shark and bamboo shark are both in this aquarium. So this species has been showing up often as well. So this is a very popular aquarium species. A pig-nosed turtle, which is kind of new. This is not a sea turtle. This might be it's a freshwater turtle, so that's actually really cool. A reticulate whipray, really pretty species. Interesting. Exhibits and experiences. Amazon Gallery, Tropics, Pacific Canadian. Kind of curious if there's any sharks in BC's Wild Coast. Got fur seals, harbor seals, sea lions, sea cucumber. And I guess that's it. Alright. Okay, we have 3 minutes left, so there's only one aquarium that I think we should end on. And that is the Georgia Aquarium. Especially like the shark cam. So, I kind of want to double check how many sharks and what species the Georgia Aquarium has. There we go. So, 140. I want to type in sharks and rays. Clear filters. Oh, here we go. Alright, so Georgia Aquarium has black-tip reef shark as well, bottlenose wedgefish, bow-mouth guitarfish, cow-nose ray, so some classics. The great hammerhead shark. This is a really unique addition to the aquarium. That's wild that they have one in captivity. That is insane that they have a great hammerhead in captivity. Wow. I don't see any aquarium notes. I see a lot of just general biology notes that we've covered because we talk about great hammerheads quite often on the stream, or on the channel, I should say. But very interesting. I'm gonna let it filter back for sharks and rays again. Here we go. Black-tip reef shark, great hammerhead is where we left off. We got the leopard whip ray, the lesser devil ray, the longcomb sawfish. Sawfish are so cool. It's amazing an aquarium has them. Reef manta ray and manta ray. These are actually two different species. It's amazing that Georgia Aquarium has both. Wow. A Matoro ray, porcupine ray. I don't know much about either of these two. Sandbar shark, so classic. Silver tip shark, which we saw in that first camera. Spotted eagle ray. Two woebegons. We got the spotted woebegone and the tasseled woebegone. And then, of course, we have the tiger shark in the Georgia Aquarium. We haven't seen them in our camera, but it's still amazing that they have it. And then finally, the zebra shark or leopard shark, or sorry, Indo-Pacific leopard shark, and then the whale shark that they have in the Georgia Aquarium. So the most famous resident, and really the only aquarium in the United States that has this species. So I think as a conclusion for tonight, just another shout out to the Ocean Voyager live cam, which gets us these, or gives us these amazing views of the species. So it's incredible to see that this is happening all right now. It's 11 o'clock on the east coast of the United States. And right now, this is what the scene is like, where we have a couple of really cool reef fish. I see porkfish, counters right in the back, and definitely want to... Oh, this actually might be an earlier recording, because I do see some kids in the frame. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this, like... There we go. Oh, there's the woebegone shark. So woebegone and then the sandbar shark right there. So really cool shot of both species. But I definitely want to... This thing is really annoying. I don't want to visit. Come on, get out of here. Okay, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let it go. There's a wedgefish in the bottom right corner. Sandbar shark swimming towards the camera. So really good looking individuals, actually. Those are both pretty good size. Woebegone in the bottom. You'll see them right in the bottom there. I'm almost a little curious to see if they may have moved the tiger shark here. That would be so cool if they did. Sandbar shark right there in the bottom. Oh, there's a little guy. Oh, a black-tip reef shark. Bottom right corner too. But I know I'll have to hop off in a little bit. But oh, hey, wait, it's Quackers. It's good to see you. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on the comments, and then I'll log off once we see the whale shark. So I'm not sure when he's coming, but sorry, I didn't see these. So Tim, Gila monsters in South Texas. Yes, actually, my high school biology teacher had one. Great question. Is a Georgia aquarium... That's really cool, by the way, because those are so venomous. Is Georgia Aquarium the only one for whale sharks? So great question. It's the only aquarium in the United States with a whale shark. But in the world, I think it's the Georgia Aquarium, and then I think there's 2 aquariums in Japan that also have whale sharks. I know there's at least one. I think it's the Okinawa Aquarium that has a whale shark, but... I think there is another one in Japan that has one. Howdy Quackers, it's great to see you. Oh, and I just saw you answer that. So the Osaka Aquarium in Japan has a whale shark too. Thank you. Let's see. Traveling, so couldn't join for a while. Miss you all lots. We miss you too, Quackers. So good to see you. And the past 2 streams have been really fun talking about aquaria and shark husbandry. So last week we talked about the great white shark and whale shark, like how to care for them. And then this week has been tiger shark, as well as kind of seeing the diversity of sharks in aquaria. In terms of, like, we did a little bit of an aquarium tour, seeing a bunch of different species around the United States and Canada, which has been pretty fun to see. So... I wanted to end on this tank, this live cam with the Ocean Voyager, and I'm going to copy and paste so we can have... Oh, thank you. Have to rewatch them all. Thank you. Yeah, these have been really fun. I think the husbandry episodes, it's kind of fun to go through these details of, like, what it takes to take care of sharks. The white shark one was particularly interesting because it reminded me of so much of Jurassic Park, where a lot of the white shark behaviors were making me think of the raptors, where, like, if the white sharks reached a certain size, they start to get kind of grumpy and they start to eat their tank mates, which is so interesting. So, but yeah, oh, I think I see. There he is. Okay, there he is. Whale shark swimming really fast, actually. From top right to bottom left, or top left, sorry, to top left. That was really fast. Because we've seen that whale shark cruising a little bit more slowly before, so kind of wild to see him booking it. So I'll stick around for a little bit more. just to see him again, because I would like to get another view of him, because he swam up last week when we were watching the live cam. He swam right up to the camera. This is such a great exhibit, though. Seeing that all these rays and sandbar sharks, blacktip reef sharks, woebegons are kind of flitting around the rocks, so that's been a lot of fun to see. I've never been to this aquarium in person, but I would love to go someday. Because I would say the closest I've been to in terms of scale has been Atlantis in the Bahamas, which has manta rays. And actually, black nose sharks, which are a pretty cool species. I don't really see another aquarium too often, so. But, oh, I see something big in the back. He might be coming around the front, so. He's Newman. Oh, thank you, Tim. Definitely, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Quackers, Georgia, Osaka, and Okinawa are all on my bucket list. Man, I like. I think that's a really 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 good list. I think for me, Georgia, the Aquarium Pacific, and Scripps, like whatever. Which I think the Birch Aquarium is the one that Scripps is associated with. Monterey Bay Aquarium, which I actually didn't highlight, and I should have. That one I'm really curious about too. And actually Ripley's, which we did talk about earlier tonight. Ripley's I've heard really good things about. Or I'm sorry, the Audubon Aquarium in Louisiana. That one I've heard really really good things about. So, and what's fun is that a lot of aquariums, their mileage kind of varies in terms of like what you can do as far as experiences, but a lot of them do allow diving. A beautiful spotted eagle ray right in the frame here, by the way. But a lot of aquariums allow diving, and some of them actually will allow you to do shark diving. So the ones that I know of firsthand, the National Aquarium in Baltimore does actually okay. So it allows diving in the Atlantic Coral Reef exhibit, which typically doesn't have sharks. Oh, there's a sea turtle over here, but sometimes they'll have a black. I was in the water with a black-nosed shark 2 years ago, but I didn't really encounter him that much because he spent his time at the surface, and we were told to stay near the bottom. But a really good shark encounter are the North Carolina Aquarium in Roanoke Island. Allows you to be in the shark tank with nurse sharks, sandbar sharks, and sand tiger sharks, and those are actually really really cool encounters. Oh, this is a fun little Kaunas ray. But that was a really cool encounter where you just kind of sit on the seabed, watch the fish kind of gather towards you, and then the shark swimming around you. That's a really really cool encounter that I think they still do. Man, it's so funny. Like, for as large an animal as the whale shark is, he's pretty good at hiding. So, there's that manta ray at the top right. He just kind of like cruised by the screen. We got some big jacks in the frame too. So these are pretty cool coastal fish that are popular on the east coast of the U.S. Sandbar shark again. Kaunas ray swimming towards the tank. We'll stick around for just one more chance to see the whale shark. By the way, Quackers, have you seen our contest posting? We're doing the banner contest. The judging begins this weekend, where we're guessing a mystery shark, and whoever guesses the answer correctly wins the prize, which is also a mystery prize. We've never done this one before, because the past couple contests we've done fossils. But this year, we're doing something completely different. That is shark related and actually relates to 7 different species of shark. And the mystery prize will be revealed this weekend. Or I guess after this weekend. I'll give us a couple more minutes. Oh, there's that woebegone again. He's going to come in the bottom right corner. There he is. There's that woebegone coming into the frame. I'll give us a couple more minutes, but I know it's getting kind of late. Oh, SeaWorld, Abu Dhabi. SeaWorld Abu Dhabi is also on my list because they're gigantic. Yes, that aquarium is insane. It's the one, it's really cool how they have it set up. They have all these like different worlds. and you like walk through it, and it's kind of like this. It's kind of like Jurassic Park meets Future meets Aquarium. It's so cool. So definitely agree with checking it out. Actually, oh, I think I see the whale shark. I actually do think I see him. He's moving really fast in the top center, now top right, and I think he's gonna make a turn. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, he's gonna make a turn. He's gonna be very close to the camera in a little bit. This is really cool. Okay, there he is. So whale shark in the Georgia Aquarium, moving so fast. Look at that. Very cool. It's amazing how he dwarfs everything else in the tank. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. I think before we leave for tonight, that aquarium, the Abu Dhabi aquarium, is fantastic. SeaWorld Abu Dhabi. We won't watch this because it's really long, but I'm gonna leave this in the chat for other people to watch because this is unbelievable. And I highly recommend this. So, sorry for the sound. Sorry about that. Okay. So this video, which I saw a while ago, really blew me away. This is a great tour of probably the greatest aquarium I've ever seen, and I think this is a fitting end to this aquarium series. Oh yes. Can you post this for us again? Yes. Real quick, and I'll go to the page again. So, SeaWorld Abu Dhabi is unlike anything else you've ever seen in the world, and I don't really like to shill for SeaWorld just because it's there's a couple positive things that they do, there's a couple negative things that they do, but this aquarium is just out of this world. It's enormous and multi-leveled, and there's a lot going on here with such a strong design sense. So I highly recommend checking the video out. Already we can see sand tiger sharks and sandbar sharks. So this is actually it's a pretty good looking sand tiger. Its fins are a little droopy, but the coloration is really good. But this aquarium is like really wild. So I definitely recommend it, and I definitely recommend checking it out. This aquarium does not have orcas either, and that's a good point. So yeah, this is you'll be blown away. So please enjoy. I highly recommend watching that video just because it's such a great tour. And then finally, before we leave tonight, here are the contest rules. I put it on the Dr. Jaws post page. So here we go. So the Dr. Jaws Live Shark Week Banner Contest 2026. It's the Shark Week now, so this is the last week of the rules. The challenge is to create an original YouTube banner, so no AI. It has to be your own artistry, depicting the correct mystery shark. So you have to guess what species this is and make a drawing of it. So the species clues for the mystery shark are: this is a shark with a nictitating membrane. This is a shark that eats marine mammals. This is the largest species in its genus. So I repeat that. It's the largest species of its genus. And this species lives in Virginia. So those are 4 clues that, even though there's 500 sharks in the world, those 4 clues are going to help identify the one. If you can identify the shark correctly, you have a step ahead of the competition, because the correct answer is going to be judged more favorably than this masterpiece of art. So if it's like this beautiful artwork of the wrong shark and a pretty cool looking artwork of the right shark, the right shark is going to win. So the challenge is to make a YouTube banner image. So the ideal size is 2560 by 1440 pixels, or 16:9 aspect ratio. You don't have to make it that way, but that's preferred. Submit your image to the Dr. Jaws official email, so drjawssharks@gmail.com. And we also have our Facebook page, so you can message me there as well. But drjawssharks@gmail.com is our official email address, and then just do the subject as Dr. Jaws Shark Week Contest. All images must be submitted by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, August 2nd, 2026. So this Sunday, before midnight. The minute it's midnight, I can't accept it. But as long as it's submitted before 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, it is considered for judging. So as far as the judging goes, again, the correct answers will take priority over artwork quality. The scientific name of the mystery shark must be included in the artwork. And then the mystery shark must be earnestly depicted. So as long as it's a shark and I see that you're trying, it's okay. But it can't be like a smiley face with fins and said this is a shark. No, it cannot be a joke. It has to be an earnestly depicted shark. So it's okay if it doesn't look the best, but I have to see that there's effort. It can't be a squiggle with fins, please. So, and then all submissions must follow the YouTube community guidelines. That really doesn't need to be said because our community is great. I mean, I could tell just like with our chat. I mean, we're a really great group of people. So I know it doesn't need to be said, but I've never indicated it before, and I feel like I probably should get into the cadence of doing that just to make sure that it's understood that, you know, just whatever the standard YouTube guidelines as far as like no negative speech or no negative stuff, like, you know, that stuff, you know. The grand prize, the winner will receive a mystery shark prize in the mail. Watch episodes 168 to 170 for mystery prize clues. Although, I don't think you need to, because I already kind of gave some hints this episode, specifically that this prize is new. We've never done it before. So it's not a fossil. It's not a Dr. Jaws book. But it is something that relates to 7 different species of sharks. So, and I think you'll love it. So, and then the other prize is that the winner's artwork will be displayed with full credit as the official banner for the Dr. Jaws YouTube channel until Shark Week 2027. So, as an example here, we have last year's winner for Shark Week 2025. This is Howard Care's artwork. And we were talking about sharks of the Gulf of Mexico. So he depicted a couple of really cool species, including the whale shark, goblin shark, which is a deepwater Gulf of Mexico species, and then this one is a dogfish. This is a I think this is actually a bramble shark right here, prickly shark, and actually see the Bahamas saw shark in the background. So, but these are the official rules. They're on the post page. And all I can say is just best of luck, because I think this is a good challenge. I think this shark is a really, really good challenge. So, let's see. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. One of my favorite videos is 2 whale sharks bonking into each other. Let's see. I think they focus more on habitat research. Okay, cool. Yes, and Howard is an absolute legend. And actually Howard is kind of, I will say he's been the reigning champion for the contest. He's been dethroned once. There was, I think Mingus won one year. But Howard has been the champ as far as these contests go. So, there is competition, which is really fun. So just best of luck, everybody. I'm really excited to see what everybody does. So. But it's almost 11:30. I'm glad we spent some extra time, because it's been super fun talking about these aquariums and like learning about all these sharks and seeing you know, just the really cool diversity of species and institutions that we have around North America, at least. So, but I'm just excited to see the results of this contest. So good luck, everybody. I think it's going to be a really fun one. But thank you so much for watching. Glad to see a lot of people back tonight. And I hope you all have a wonderful week and enjoy Shark Week. And have fun with the banner contest for the Dr. Jaws YouTube channel. I'm very excited to see what everybody comes up with. And I will be judging this weekend. So super, super excited. So, but thank you. Take care. Good luck. And I will see you soon. And we'll announce the winners on the next week's stream. So, but cheers, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.